I had a busy day this morning, Mr. Chairman. I had a client I had to drop off a product to. I went to their facility. They knew that I was coming. My name was left at the security desk. I was given a badge and went upstairs to see my client. I didn't tell my accountant I was going to try and drop off my W-2 forms to him, so I stopped by his office. I wasn't on the list. Security had to call up. They had to clear me, and then I was allowed up to my accountant's office to drop off my W-2s. If I were to walk into many of the hospitals right now in this region, you and I and anyone else could go wherever we wanted to unobstructed. They have policies, the Brigham Women's, for example, from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. The question I have is, why am I not a threat at 6:45? Why am I not a threat at 8:30 p.m.? What changes? And when this issue was brought to us, people paused it as we were trying to make the hospitals lockdown places. And then, Mr. Chairman, as I did come here today, I went through a security check, I went through a magnetometer and an x-ray process. Rightfully so. Based on the risk that this institution faces, you have to put steps in place that are reasonable. We're not looking to do that at the hospitals, but there are certain things that they could do to make matters safer for the nurses and their employees. Very simple steps. M&A has been trying to work collaboratively to come to a joint shared culture of security with the hospital environments so they can take steps to keep their employees and their patients safer. I credit this body and the former governor with the passage of the legislation that made it a crime to assault healthcare workers. We'd like to see that established throughout the hospitals by signage and enforcement of that. Our nurses are very often subjects to victimization of crime. We had a recent nurse who was assaulted, and she was home afraid the individuals were going to identify her and come to her home. It was the M&A and myself, and thank God the Raynham Police Department, who went to her home, calmed her down, and walked her through that process. No one else reached out to see how she was doing after she was the victim of a violent assault. We didn't change fire laws on our own. We now have sprinkler systems, we have fire drills, we have processes that have made it a safer place for our kids to go to school, our workers to go to facilities, and that happened because of institution of legislation. Asbestos removal is now coded and has processed, and it's the way to deal with it because legislation came into play. If you talk to the security directors around the city, and M&A wanted to make sure I'm clear, this is not criticism of the professional security officials charged with security at our hospitals. Very professional individuals doing the best they can with often limited budgets and administrations who do not share the same idea of security as they do. They do great jobs trying to protect their staff every day. They need help to do it, and we feel that this bill will provide the incentive for hospitals to have a yearly conversation, a yearly evaluation if they're doing the best practices possible to keep workers and patients safe. This is safety for everyone in the hospital facility. And this is not an armed camp. We're not looking for metal detectors. We're not looking for x-ray machines. We're looking forward for common sense approaches to make the hospital facility safe for all. Just like it's safe for my accountant and just like it was safe for my client today.
Yeah.